Up next on the 7, a former West High School teacher and coach accused of sexual misconduct appeared in court today for a motions hearing. His defense asking his bond remain the same at $100,000 despite new charges being added. Now, his GPS tracker will not be removed, but he will be allowed to work if he can. Now, back in May, Chad Brooks was charged with 16 counts of aggravated statutory rape and statutory rape by an authority figure. That indictment included one victim across those charges and alleges the behavior took place between January 2024 and March of this year. Then in September, Brooks was indicted on an additional sexual battery charge after Knoxville police said they identified a new victim. Court records said that victim was between 13 and 18 at the time of the incident, which reportedly happened between December 2024 and January of this year. Now, Knox County schools did not renew Brooks's contract after the investigation. Brooks is due back in court on December 2nd. Another former West High School coach is set to appear in court later this month. A motion hearing for Richard Shaver is scheduled for Thursday, November 20th. He faces 4 counts of sexual battery by an authority figure and 2 counts of attempted sexual battery by an authority figure. As we've been reporting, Shaver was indicted back in May. Investigators say the crimes were committed between August and November of 2024 and involved a victim between the ages of 13 and 18. Next on the 7 tonight, Cumberland Gap High School students and staff grieving the loss of Caitlin Berger, a special education teacher and assistant girls basketball coach. The 22-year-old was killed in a crash near Harrogate just after midnight Saturday. A graduate of Heritage High School, Berger went on to play basketball at the University of Virginia's College at Wise. Now, she graduated in May before joining the Cumberland Gap High School staff in August. Despite her short tenure, she's made a lasting impact.
She became part of the family within days. She had so much influence on people, students, faculty, and especially our basketball players. Everybody in the building loved her, and she just had a way of making you feel good about yourself.
Caitlin would have turned 23 this upcoming Friday. Students and staff plan to wear her favorite color to school to celebrate her. Next for you tonight, for the first time in more than 40 days, we've seen real progress in the effort to end the government shutdown in Washington, at least temporarily. 7 Democrats and an independent senator broke ranks to make a deal last night. They're now working with Republicans to finalize a short-term spending bill, which would fund the government through January 30th. That deal would reverse layoffs, guarantee back pay to all federal workers. It also includes funding for SNAP that would last beyond the new January deadline. That deal still needs to make it through the House, so Speaker Mike Johnson is urging representatives to get back to Washington as quickly as possible.
At the very moment that they do that final vote, I will call all House members to return to Washington as quickly as possible. We'll give a 36-hour formal and official notice, so that we can vote as soon as possible to pass the amended CR bill and get it to the president's desk.
The bill will keep the government open until the end of January. In that time, Congress will need to pass a long-term budget to fund the government through the fiscal year. And with uncertainty surrounding the return of SNAP benefits, local food banks are stepping up to fill the gap in the meantime. Here in Knoxville, Wesley House says the need has surged since the start of the month. Since November 1st, the day those benefits stopped, the Wesley House has recorded more than 2,600 impacts, meaning families and individuals coming in for food assistance. Staff say they've seen a clear rise in demand as many families still have not received their SNAP benefits. One visitor told us that she applied back in September and was expecting her next payment on November 2nd, but nothing has come through since. Now, this drove her to seek support from local food banks.
I didn't know some of these places existed, when I had the SNAP benefits. You know how you're getting food stamps and you don't know who this agency is giving away food, and it's just amazing how all these agencies have come together out of the woodworks to help everybody out.
Wesley House leaders say they'll keep serving anyone in need, whether or not their SNAP benefits have returned. They encourage families to reach out for help rather than go hungry. Meanwhile, tonight, Knoxville Mayor India Kincannon is proposing emergency funding for food assistance. This is a proposed emergency ordinance. It is on tomorrow night's City Council agenda. If passed, the ordinance would allocate $100,000 to the city's unassigned fund balance to address critical food shortages in Knoxville. We're told the money would support food assistance programs in the Knoxville area and that the money would also be matched by the United Way of Greater Knoxville. Interim Director of the Richard L. Bean Juvenile Detention Center has well, now stepped down. Knox County Commissioner Larson Jay confirming that Brian Bivens' resignation to 6 News. Jay says the mayor's office accepted the resignation over the weekend. Bivens' departure comes shortly after the release of a state report which highlighted issues at the facility. That report says an undated policy and procedure manual contained minimal plans for escape, hostage taking, and fire evacuations. It also said one pod was used to house goats. Now, Bivens took over as interim director from longtime director Richard L. Bean, and the report noted that Bivens and other juvenile facility staff began implementing new initiatives, procedures, and practices to address those concerns. We're told Bivens' replacement will be discussed at Thursday's juvenile board meeting. Covering Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear is taking aim at a dangerous drug, announcing Kentucky will ban 7-hydroxymitragazine, also known as 7-OH. The chemical is found in the kratom plant and can be concentrated into shots, powders, and capsules that act like synthetic opioids. The new law will make it illegal to sell or possess these products anywhere in the state. Governor Beshear calls the move another step in keeping deadly and addictive drugs off Kentucky streets.
This is a powerful and addictive drug that has no place in Kentucky. Because of this action, law enforcement and regulatory agencies can get this drug out of communities. Every step we take to help protect the lives of our people and to continue to make progress in our fight of addiction is worth it.
State health leaders say 7-OH will now be classified as a Schedule I narcotic alongside drugs like heroin and fentanyl. They add the change will further help the fight against the opioid epidemic, and overdose deaths continue to fall, down some 30% in 2024.